They said he was gone. They folded the flag, they closed the lid, and the town came to say goodbye. Rain stitched the sky as if the heavens were learning how to cry. In the center of all that mourning sat a mother, hollow and steady, refusing to let the world tell her how to grieve. They handed her a photograph, his smile, a young soldier in uniform. On the table, medals caught the gray light like small, angry suns. She pressed the photo to her chest and promised him, aloud, "Wait, I'll wait." The house that night was heavy with the quiet of final things. The clock cleaved midnight, and the house felt small. Then a knock, slow, unbelievable. At first she thought it the wind. Then again, 3 slow knocks, like someone tapping from far away, from a place she had already buried. She opened the door, and the world folded in on itself. A man stood there, soaked, uniform torn, beard grown, eyes raw. He looked like the photograph had learned to walk. Her breath became a ragged question. "Daniel," he answered, voice thin as old paper. "Amy." "It's me." She pulled him in, and he folded like a prayer into her arms. For a heartbeat, it felt like a miracle. Then his knees buckled. He breathed in the scent of his childhood home and whispered things that tasted like ash and smoke. "I survived, but not the way you think." He spoke slowly, as if the words were stones pulled from a well. "There was an explosion," he said. "He, my friend, he pushed me away. When they found him, it looked like me. They called my name. The room tilted. The mother's world slipped into a new, cruel language. The memory came like a film burned into bone. The blast, the shove, the name in the smoke." He described the face of the man who died. Bilal. He smiled at me before the fire took him. He said, "Go, live." In his chest was an empty place that looked a lot like guilt. Then came the line that shaped the rest of her life. "When they thought they'd found your son, I let them. I couldn't take his name. I couldn't bear to ask him to die for me twice." The confession landed like winter, cold and final. She understood. The body in the coffin had not been Daniel's. At dawn he walked to the house of the man who'd given him life with his last breath. He carried a medal, the one his friend had worn. He placed it in the widow's hands and said simply, "He saved me. I came to return what was never mine to keep." He could have stayed and told the whole world the truth. But some guilt cannot be undone with words. He folded his uniform and left it on a grave, a silent offering, and walked away into the thin, forgiving fog. Some returns are only for a moment. Some departures are final. Months later she stood once more beside the stone. But her posture was different, not empty, no, but arranged around a new understanding. She placed 2 roses, one for her son, one for the man who had carried him home. She felt, at last, a small, honest peace. Not every miracle is loud. Sometimes the world gives us the quiet return of truth, and sometimes it asks us to live with the cost. If this story moved you, share it with someone who needs it. Like to support these voices and subscribe for more stories that hold a mirror to the heart.